What's going on, guys? Lotus Footers here, back with another video. I know my mic is fixed in this one. That's because I was using another phone to make what if deku. What was it again? What the fuck? I made it like 2 days ago and I forgot. Oh no, hold on. Okay, I'm back. I just had to do something. I know my mic is fixed in this one. I think it was what if deku had nano or some shit like that. It was what the fuck, bro? Right, now I remember. What if Deku was abandoned by fate and I was using another phone for that one, so the mic was a little fuzzy. I apologize for that. And I'm gonna be deadass with y'all. I'm gonna be doing a redo of it because, well, of the sound quality. And since I don't feel like doing the redo right now, and I'm gonna delete it soon so you guys could watch this instead, while in the meantime I get my thoughts together and plan the redo, I will be putting out another anime, but another what if. But before that, let me ask you guys a question. You live in your house or in your room or anywhere and thinking about anime, and you think about this specific anime. This specific anime called Plunder. Hold on. Sorry. Yes. You ever think about the anime Plunder and think, man, if I was in that world, what would my number be, and how would I count it? First of all, before you can answer that, let me tell you mine's. My number would go all the way to infinity in an instant. And since there is no limit to how much things you can count, I would be counting 10 at once. Even though I could be counting 1 and possibly destroy that whole planet, right? And you guys just saw the ships. But that's for you to find. But that's if you can, well, find it. So, yeah. So, let me tell you what I would be counting. From the back of my palm, we're going to start off with the back of my palm. From the tip of my left middle finger to the tip of my right middle finger, I would be counting every atomic second that passes while I live. So that already is a dub. It will go from the tip to my back and all the way back to the tip of the other middle finger. So that's a dub. Next, we start with the pointer finger. Same process here. Stay with me now. How many atoms I have in my body? And that's a dub. Now my ring finger. How much quirks I have in my body. Quirks are actually the things that are inside atoms. I want you to remember that. Alright? And Deku is going to have these powers as well in this what if. Understand that. He's gonna have all of these, alright? So yeah. And that's also a dub. How many atoms are in everybody in the world's body? Already a whole dub, because forget trillions, we're all the way up to infinity. And that was the pinky finger. Alright, so we have the 4 main fingers. Now the thumb. How many quirks are in everyone's body? Now we start off to the palm. So yeah. And if you're wondering why, and this is why Deku's wearing gloves in this picture. Yes, this is Deku. So now we start off in the front. How many atoms are there in existence? Yes, already a dub, infinity. Now we do it again, but with the ring finger this time. That was the middle finger. Like, I had a whole different plan. Like, for real. Alright, okay. How many seconds have passed in everybody's life? Already another dub. Now we start off with the pointer finger or the index finger. How many quirks are in everybody's body? Alright? The minimum that Deku could go to with the whole quirks thing is 3. Because it takes 3 quirks to make 1 body. And Izuku's power is gonna be element manipulation. Why? Because, well, elements, alright? And when Deku gets his powers, he's gonna scare the living shit out of the gods. of that world. Alright, they're gonna be scared. Alright, they're gonna be scared. Deku's gonna come for their lives. Alright, so yeah. That's where I'm gonna be starting it off for now. So now you got it. Atoms in his body, seconds that passed in his. Alright. Atomic seconds that passed in. Oh, wait, yeah. And for the pinky, how many atomic seconds passed in his body. And for the thumb, it's actually the same. Like I said, so the quirk, the atoms, the atomic second, and stuff like that, and the atomic seconds in the world. So let's get on to the what if. And in this one, I'm going to bring every teacher, actually, every teacher, except for Vlad King, Nezu, because Nezu is an important. No, I'm gonna bring Nezu as well. Yes, I got this. Alrighty then, let's get into this. Cause like you can't have an unknown world without a smartass there, right? Come on now. Like Nezu's gonna create society all over again, aren't he? Isn't he? Alright then. We start off in a regular day, where all the teachers are in class 1A to observe what Aizawa is teaching them, such as All Might, Midnight, Hazashi, or President Mike. I don't know how much times I keep telling you this. Like, nobody ever comments, you can stop saying who Hazashi is, we know. Cause, like, bro, every time I say his name, my throat be hurting for some odd reason. Is it because, like, this nigga keeps screaming, and I feel like I should scream his dumbass name? No. Like, imagine Hazashi being Suku's dad. Like, imagine President Mike bursting in through Deku's door, and you see Inko run up to him and saying, Hazashi, baby, you're back. And President Mike is her saying, yeah, I'm back for good. As Deku's gonna be, like, imagine the confusion on Deku's. Oh, wow, that sounds like a whole nother word. Like, imagine the confusion on Deku's face when he's like, huh? Wait a damn minute, wait. My dad was my teacher all along? And Hazashi's like, yeah, I'm sorry about that. Like, the confusion? Alright then. So yeah, all the teachers are inside the room. And Nezu as well. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the classroom, right where in front of where Jiro is, there is a flashing light. The light passes because, like, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the second isekai anime I have done. The second isekai what if I have done. I have never done any other isekai. And if you're actually counting what if Issei was betrayed, that does not count as an isekai because all of those gods exist in that world. Sure, they didn't make an appearance yet, but I'm sure they'll make an appearance. And like if the creator of High School DxD needs some ideas on gods, you can hit me up, bro. I know a lot of gods. Greek mythology, Norse mythology, Chinese mythology. Got you. Cause like, why do the work when I could do it for you? You don't even have to pay me. I'll do it for free. Shit, as long as you got something for me to be interested in. Forget the pay, my nigga. Your pay for me is gonna be that anime, bro. Release that shit. Let's make that storyline good. You got me, bro. You got me, G. Cause like I'm waiting for you to add the Jade Emperor, Sun Wukong beating ass, bro. No, matter of fact, I'm waiting for your ass to get Buddha on this shit. Shit. You wanna see Buddha come down? Who the fuck hit my brethren? Like that ass. Like I wanna see that happen. But anyways, I wanna see the Dragon King. Like shit. Yeah, so what if Issei was betrayed was not an isekai? So yeah, the class, they see that they're in a white room as everybody gets into a fighting position, even Midoriya, and even though he's quirkless. Yes, he is quirkless in this one. Not because he was born, not because he didn't get one for all, it's because All Might took it back, because he thinks he's weak and gave it to Bakugo, which Bakugo bullies him about it every day and beats his ass. And class 1A hates Midoriya. But the one that hates him the most is Bakugo. Why? Because Bakugo felt that Deku had a quirk that he was hiding behind his back, just laughing his ass off about, until he find out from All Might, who was like, I can now bully him because of the quirk he has, and I have it now, head ass. Just like, fuck. Alright then. So, all of a sudden, a white figure appears in front of them. It has no shape, no form, no shape or form, no. A white figure just appears. It's just a glowing light. As he says, stand down. As they said, why should we? As he says, because you're in front of God. And I said so. Now stand down. As they feel an immense pressure when he says stand down. And the class says, alright, as they stand down. And Nezu says, wait, if you're God, then why are we here? It's not like we died. As God says, correct, you did not die. But where you are going, you have a high chance of dying. But to make it easy for you, even though you have quirks, you'd still die in an instant. Especially that Bakugo boy of yours. He has the lowest chance of living, apart from that Midoriya kid behind you. As they look at Midoriya and they're like, oh, that one, that useless kid. As it's only the teachers that actually like him. Why? Because he's smart. Nezu finds his smartness, his quick-witted self to be interesting and likes Midoriya. All Might absolutely hates him. Aizawa likes him because of his determination. Even though Midoriya was quirkless, even though Midoriya was quirkless, he was still determined to be a hero. So Midnight and Hazashi admire that about him too. Midnight because, well, she thinking he cute. But after this, she gonna be cute. Tell me if I should add Midnight to the ship. So, alright, quick disclaimer, the ship is Nana and Lin. Why am I making it these two? Because, well, Licht already got his girl, alright? Alright then, so, yeah. So, the class says, alright God, what abilities will you give us? Something like element manipulation? As he says, nope. That's not it. You will have your same quirks. Well, you get one wish with the power you will be given, but, let's see how you use it. I thought of a better power, atom manipulation. No, quirk manipulation. Yes, quirk manipulation, the quirks inside a person's body. Oh, shit. That's just one. Oh, no. I've made Deku so OP to the point where he can't even keep up with what's going on. Oh, God. Damn. I've destroyed this world that I have created. I swear to God, if I was God of Earth, bro, every one of y'all would have destroyed Earth in one punch. Shit, y'all be One Punch Man in real life. Damn. Nah, I'd probably destroy civilization before y'all could even get the power to do that. Cause I'd be dropping tombs, dungeons, riddles, like shit. Y'all niggas would be dead. If I was God, bro, forget the God y'all know now that's making y'all niggas live through quarantine. Nigga, I'm dropping plague off of plague off of plague off of disease off of sickness. Bro, just so y'all niggas can keep up with the times. Like, my ass is gonna drop tombs, dungeons, like a whole lot of shit on y'all niggas. Superpowers, abilities, quirks, like shit. Monsters too. Yo, my ass will wild out on this planet and y'all wouldn't even know what's going on. Like one day you're gonna be walking down the street and then you just fall into a hole. Like, that's dead ass how it's gonna be. Like, you just walking down the street one day, just whistling like do 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 do, and then you just fall. Like, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, that's the only thing you could say. And I'm in heaven like, hee hee hee. Just watching your ass fall, and then you get to heaven, you're like, God, why would you kill me? Be like, bro, you was just in the way of where I was putting that tomb. It's not my fault. Your ass would be looking at me like, it is your fault. It was your fault for putting that tomb there to begin with. I mean, like, yeah, it's my fault, but like, you should be cautious. Like, shit, you should be insecure for once in your life. So, yeah. So, the God says, I will give you the ability that everybody in that world has. They have an ability to count a specific thing. You have unlimited things that you can count, so I want you to count as much things as you want. There will be a number that appears on you. As he says, you will also have and you also have one wish. As everybody says, we can count anything. As they said, yes, the higher the number goes, the stronger you are. As Everybody makes their wish, even Midoriya. They make their wishes first, as Midoriya says, thinks to himself, quirk manipulation. Aizawa says absolute cancel to work with his quirk. Midnight says gas control. So she can make any gas and she can use it and control it any way she wants. Nezu says human and the ability to turn into either human or any beast. As Nezu, he starts growing. As the teachers see this, they're like, what the hell? As All Might, he says super strength and immortality. Bakugo says super endurance for one for all and his explosions. And Deku, he says quirk manipulation. So he's practically immortal, like All Might. He could clap All Might. He could clap All Might. All Might's gonna have super strength. Deku's gonna have super OP strength. Like, alright, so God said, alright, now it's time to think about what you want to count. Remember, there is no limit to how much things you can count. As Deku, he thinks, I want from my left middle finger to my left middle finger to my right middle finger, how much quirks are in my body. For my left ring finger to my right ring finger, how much atoms are in my body. How much, now for the pointers, how much atomic seconds have passed in my life. Now for the pinky finger, how much seconds have passed in my life. Now for the front middle finger, how much seconds have passed in this world. How much seconds have passed since this world was created and the time it will be destroyed. And for the ring finger, how much atomic seconds. As for the pointer finger, how much quirks exist in the whole universe where this world is located. And for the pinky finger, how much seconds have passed since this planet has been created and destroyed. And for the thumb, how much atomic seconds have passed since the multiverse where this planet resides was created to where it is destroyed. As says, and as Deku has his ability and stuff like that, as God says, alright, since all of you have made your wishes and you are doing your countings currently, as Momo says, how fast I can make things. So, why did I add Momo? Why? Because I just felt like it, alright? I just need an example of the class. I can't just do the teachers, right? Alright, so Deku, he has his hand in his pocket until he takes it out for a split second, and Aizawa catches a wind of this and looks at Izuku's hand and sees all these numbers, like code numbers, like numbers that are coded. And he's like, what the hell? Let me show you, hold on. So yeah, it looks like this. Aizawa caught wind of it and he's like, what the hell? What even are those numbers? What the hell is he counting? Like, he's thinking this to himself. As he's surprised, he's like, what the hell is Problem Child thinking? My god. As Deku does not show his powers, and with the ability quirk manipulation, he manipulated all of the atoms in his body to make it seem like he doesn't even have a strong presence at all, just a normal presence. As Aizawa catches wind of this again and was like, what the hell? Of those amounts of numbers, how is he just relaying a regular presence? As all the teachers sense this, and they look at Aizawa, they just look at Aizawa and they're like, what's up with him? Did he see something interesting? as the gods can't even notice this due to Deku's immense power. So it's about time, and God says that, and the God says that, and says it's about time that you guys leave. As everybody says, how are we supposed to leave this place? And he says there will be a teleportation circle. It's highly dangerous, because there is only one specific place that we're sending you. If you push anyone out, it will be hard for us to locate where he is. As Bakugo thinks of that idea, and so do Class 1A, but Bakugo, as the class sees that Bakugo is planning on doing it by his smile, as they get into the teleportation circle, and they put Bakugo right next to Midoriya at the edge of the circle, and right when they're about to go, you just hear, yeah, basically. Or, yeah, basically that sound. Yes, a little self-harm to make the video more interesting. I'm joking. Alright, so, yeah, you just hear that sound, like a shove, like this sound. Like, I didn't do it that hard. If I did, I'd probably hurt myself. So yeah. So all you hear is that sound, as you just see Midoriya out, as the teachers, except for All Might, are thinking, no! As Aizawa tries to grab him, but it was with the scarf, but they were already teleported to the place. Now we cut back to Midoriya, who's in a forest. Alright, let me show you what the forest looks like. This is a very interesting forest. Alright, so yeah, the forest looks like this. As Deku's like, where am I? As, no, forget that. As Deku, he just has a normal, stern, non-caring face. Why? Because he expected this. He expected this because, with quirk manipulation, he unlocked 100% of his brain. And he maximized his brain to make it so that he can use 1000% of it. That's the lowest I'm gonna go. 1000% is the lowest I'm gonna go when it comes to his brain. The highest is infinity, but we're not gonna use that because he doesn't really need it now, does he? Nope. Yeah. So he sees where he is. He doesn't care, like, at all. Like the look on this man's face just says it all. Like the look on his face says, I honestly don't give a damn. Not one shits, not one fucks, not two craps, like at all. And he doesn't care where he is. He just gets up, dusts himself off, as he's walking around. And now we cut back to Class 1A. Bakugo is laughing. Like he's laughing. Like he's laughing. And so is everybody in the class. As suddenly, Aizawa grabs Bakugo and says, "What the hell do you think you're doing?" As All Might steps in right in front of Aizawa and says, "Whoa there, Aizawa. I suggest you stop." As Aizawa says, "Yeah, what the hell are you gonna do about it? And does he even have a valid reason for kicking Izuku out?" As he says, he does. Midoriya was useless to us. He doesn't even have a quirk. Didn't you see it? As Aizawa says and backs off, knowing full well that he could clap All Might then and there and show his superiority, but he doesn't. Like, this man's trying to stay undercover for when he sees Midoriya again so he can talk. So, yeah. Everybody thinking that Aizawa is scared of All Might, knowing full well that Aizawa could probably clap him. As All Might says, "Yeah, that's what I thought." That's what he says. As he just mumbles this. As the class move forward to this country. It's basically the country where Licht was first seen, where that girl was taken. And in this moment in time, that's that place. They're in that place for now. As that's the place they are. Nine. No, not 19 years ago. 15 years ago. This is when that girl's mom with the ore gets trapped into the void. And you think, oh, he's gonna change it and save the mom. No, I'm sadly gonna have to let that mom die. I sadly have to let the mom die. I sadly have to let the mother die. Why? Because, well, they're in a really deep place in the forest, and it was raining at this. It's raining at this time, but Deku's not affected by this. Why? Because he uses the quirks in the air to, well, not just cushion, but strengthen the air around him, of sorts. And he knows what dark matter looks like. I know something we all cannot see. This nigga Deku is so strong. He fucks with dark matter itself. Man's Deku fucked up the quirks in the dark matter atoms and made that shit visible to him. So this nigga's his eyesight is beyond us. So yeah, I can't wait until niggas find out what dark matter looks like. I'm be in heaven like, holy shit, that's what dark matter looks like, bro. Like, I'm the type of person to actually possess a nigga just to know what it looks like. Like, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be dead. Like, my soul's just gonna be wandering around, and there's gonna be that one person that finds out what it's like, oh my god, I can see dark matter. And I'm gonna possess them and be like, holy shit, he can't see dark matter. Like, everybody gonna be looking around me like, wait, did he say he? Is he possessed or something? As I would just leave immediately. So yeah. So Midoriya is trapped in this forest. Bitch, you is. I'm joking. Alright, so yeah, this is what Deku's gonna look like. Deku changed his hair to white so he wouldn't be recognized by the class when he gets back, because he knows he's strong enough. And he found some silk bugs, some silkworms. Hold on, I'll show you what they look like. Silkworm moth. Yes, I changed it to a silkworm moth because this is the only thing I could find on a silkworm. Alright, because I'm not going to Pokemon getting silk type animals. I'm not doing that. Alright, so yeah. So he sees this animal as he sees it sleeping, as he goes near it and it wakes up and starts to attack Izuku. But Izuku just reaches out his left hand, and he doesn't really do anything to it. He just leaves his hand raised. As the silkworm sees that he's not showing any hostility towards it or fear. More like joy to see it, as the silkworm speaks and says, human, what do you want? In a pixie-like voice. It's just imagine what I'm saying in a pixie-like voice, because I can't make its name. Human! Like, no, that don't sound right, does it? No, it doesn't. As he says, human, what do you want? As Midoriya says, I would like silk. As he says, how much? As he says, do you know what a pound is? As he says, yes, why? As he says, well, can I get 200 pounds worth of silk? As he says, that's a lot. Where will he store it all? As he says, I have a spatial ability. As he says, alright then. As he just makes it, as it gets tired along the way, as Izuku says, stop for now, I can see that you're tired. You may rest, as he says, thank you. And then 10 hours later, it awakes and continues to rest. As this goes on, as it takes it 2 days to make it. As it's done, as it says, there you go, human. As Midoriya, he goes up to it and it leans his head in like this in the picture, and it gets pet, and he says thank you with a smile. As the bug saw Izuku's eyes, and he thought, his eyes, they look so dead inside. As that was when they first met, but when she got the pet, she felt a sort of warmth. As Izuku says, since I've grown accustomed to you, maybe I'll change my hair to resemble you. As first his hair was black, now he changed it to white, as he let his hair grow out, alright? He'll be stuck in there for a year, alright? His hair grows out, but he'll keep it that way. As he makes the suit and the vest and stuff like that with the silk. And if you're wondering, how did he get that black color? Oh, that's simply easy. He just changed the atoms inside of it to turn it black. As, yeah. And if you're wondering, how is a Deku able to change the quirks so quickly? Well, first, to begin with, when Izuku was changing the quirks in his own body, he made it so that he can change quirks not just twice as fast, but infinites of times faster. As the Silk Moth says, what is your ability? As Midoriya says, I'm able to manipulate the quirks. To manipulate quirks. As the Silk Moth says, what is a quirk? As Deku explains what a quirk is, and what a quirk creates, and what that creates, and what that creates, and basically like that. So, to sum it all up, the Moth says, so, a quirk is basically the second start of existence? As Izuku says, exactly. Now you're getting it. The first thing that started it all is called dark matter. And quite honestly, it's quite colorful. As it says, I can't see it. As Midoriya says, you can't see it with regular eyes. As he taps the silk beetle in the eye, as it sees a flow of rainbow colors. Like, I'll show you what that is. If you see, if I keep pausing, that's because I'm going on Google. Because I don't plan my things out. I do it all on the way. So yeah, as right when it opens his eyes, after Izuku told it to open its eyes, it just saw a flow of these colors. As it's like, it's so pretty. He just sees them flowing all around her. She says, it's so pretty. As she says, thank you. As Izuku says, you're welcome. You can keep that ability. Well, I guess I'll be leaving now. I'll come visit you in the future. As it was right around this time where the girl's mom died. You know, the girl that shipped with Licht in the anime? Yeah. It's around this time where she dies. And you may be wondering, why didn't Deku save her? Well, because Deku wasn't there in time. Like I said, he was too far away. So Deku's stuck in there for a year, and by that time, she already left. Why count miles when you can count steps, right? She could be stronger than Licht himself. She could just start clapping his face up. Like, damn. So, yeah. So, take in mind, nobody has stopped the void, but this nigga Deku's gonna do that. Why? Because he has the power of quirks on his side. He can freely manipulate quirks, so he has a way to get back to his planet, but he chooses not to, because he wants to explore this world. I mean, it's a foreign world. He doesn't know anything about it, and he knows everything about his planet. Hold on. So yeah, he says his goodbyes to the worm, and he leaves looking like this a year later. And take in mind, he's killed multiple things, like, in there. Like, from goblins to wolves, and these are high-level monsters. This forest is known as the Forest of Death. As the gods are still trying to calculate where he is, and Deku not once in his life, in that world, has he released his energy, which would destroy, which would put a massive pressure on the planet in an instant, and the gods' domain as well, but he did not. As Deku, he just walks out, as he's like, where am I? Maybe I should start walking. Why is Deku walking? Because he just feels like walking. Why would he need to fly or run or anything like that? To which he gets to the town where the class is, and it's around that time. Like, I'm gonna age up the girl. Instead of her being 5 by the time Deku gets instead of her being 5 at that time she gets there, but she's 19 now. She's 19 now and stuff like that. So yeah. She's 19 As Deku walks in, and the people see him, they see him like this, and they're like, who is that? Is he a royal or something? As he just walks and sits down at Nana's shop. As he says, excuse me, as Nana comes and she says, can I get some food? As he says, as Nana, she is stunned by how my son Deku looking. She says she's in her mind thinking, oh my god, he's so beautiful and hot. As Deku, he has gloves on. As this is when Licht walks up to Midoriya and says, can I get some food? As Deku looks at Licht and says, damn, bro, you look hungry. Come on, sit next to me, bro. As Licht says, oh my god, thanks. As he says, no problem. As he says, I'll be ordering for two. Order anything you like. As Licht orders a whole bunch, Izuku, he doesn't really care, because he has enough. By enough, I mean he has infinites. Like, the whole world around him is the money. Like, this nigga, he just does this and drops 2 gold on the table, and she's like, wait, where did that come from? Do you have spatial magic? As he says, nope. As she says, then what do you have? He looks at her and he does a little wink and he keeps his eye closed and he says, that's a secret. That's for you to find out. As Lick says, hey man, can you at least show us your number? As he says, that's a little too dangerous. As Lick says, alright then, I won't ask. Because he said no to Licht because he saw that in the future Licht will go berserk like he did in the anime. So I don't watch the anime. I read the manga. Yeah, I read the manga. Why do I read the manga? Because it's ahead of time. Like, when was the last... Like, did season 2 of Plunderer even come out? Yeah, I don't even think so. So yeah, if it did come out, please write that in the comments. So yeah. So, I'm still waiting for season 2 of Tower of God. Because them fuckers lied and said that it was coming out in April. Those disrespectful cunts. I mean, like, season 3 was the best season, but, like, still. No. There was one part in season 2 that was good. That was when he was fighting the, Jihad. When he fought Kid Jihad. But that's for another time. So, yeah. Not gonna lie, Jihad's kind of a prick. That's not my problem, though. So, Deku, he did what he had to do. So, Deku, he got like the food and stuff like that, and Licht went on his way to go save the girl at this time. To which Nana says, now that he's gone, can I see them? As he says, oh, fine, because I noticed that you'd be pestering me if I didn't. So he goes into the shop and with her, and he says, can you close the blinds? As he says, sure. As he starts taking off his shirt, as she says, well, what are you doing? As he says, sorry, this is actually how it works. And she says, oh, because he has numbers running from his front and from his chest and his back. Remember, the front side and the back side. As he takes off his gloves as well, as it just shows these numbers running across his body. And she's like, what are you counting? What are you counting that gets your number that large? As he says, I can't tell you. It'd be dangerous if I did. To which he just snaps and his clothes just pop on him. And she says, wait, if you could have just popped your clothes back off, why would you do that? As he says, I was lazy to snap my fingers, so I just did it the longer way. As he says, you really are an odd one. As he says, well, that doesn't change the fact I'm still a human being. So it was at this time that Izuku heard that bang and he saw Licht and he was like, so that's what he looks like. Interesting. I'll have to have a chat with him if I ever see him again. But for now, I'll be going. As he pets Nana on the forehead. And he says, well, I'll be leaving now. As Nana, she says, wait, if we're ever in trouble, will you come save us? As Deku says, let's find out, shall we? Let's find out if there's ever a danger where I need to show up, huh? As she blushes and says, oh, okay. As, yes, Nana's not gonna be that assertive as she is in the anime towards Deku. She's gonna be a softie, a pushover. Not that much of a pushover, but a little bit of a pushover. Quite honestly, I watch a whole lot of lovey-dovey stuff that it makes me sick, so I just put them in my what-ifs. Why does it make me sick? Because, well, it just does. Actually, I saw something on TikTok today that really made me pissed. It was actually one of my pet peeves. Like, it's not a pet peeve that applies to me, but people around me. So, like, it was a TikTok about, like, a boy committing suicide after his girl FaceTimed him while getting railed. So, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually one of my pet peeves. Cheating on people. Like, I don't care if you cheat on me, but, like, if you cheat on people, like, that's a pet peeve to me. I find it disgusting. Every one of my pet peeves, they're not as serious as that one in general. Because that one in general makes me feel sick. And it doesn't just last for like one day. It could last for a whole week. The minimum is 3 days. It's not no 2 days and 1 day. Cause like, I have a very scarce mindset. Once I lose focus on what I'm doing, I will remember what I saw. So that's how my mind works. So yeah. So Deku just leaves. As he's not seen for another 5 months. And everything in the anime happened with Iron Jail finding him and stuff like that, all the way to when they meet the other one of the ace, and then the whole thing happens where Lick goes berserk until the whole void comes out and starts killing people. So yeah. Deku, he didn't save anybody because, well, he was never there. So the girl that died in front of Licht and the other one, and the blue-haired girl, yeah, he didn't save her either. Now, he could have stopped the void. All he has to say is stop, the void would stop in his tracks. But there was actually a time where Deku encountered the void, where this random person was dying. It was this old man. This old man was dying. This old man was dying because he had no more remaining years. Not no more remaining years of his life, but nothing more to do. He's been bored as Deku. This old man, he's bored because, well, he doesn't have enough power to go explore. As Deku, he says, right when the man's about to die, he says, well, I guess this is it. And then he just hears, stop. As the void, it freezes. And the void is thinking, what is this tremendous pressure? It's scary. No, please don't approach us. As the void can see Zuko approaching and says, no, please don't hurt us. Don't kill us, don't destroy us. As the void is scared shitless, as the old man's like, what? How? Impossible. As Izuku says, old man, it seems like you're bored. Is it because of your lack of power that you lost your sense of adventure? As the old man says, yes, I did the things that I could do since I was limited, but it seems like I have nothing more that I can do with my weak and scarce power. As Midoriya says, very well then. I'll give you that power to explore. But you must promise me one thing. As he says, I'll do anything. Just what is it? As Midoriya says, you have to do good. You must, you can make enemies. But you must not do bad. Like trample on the homeless. Destroy things for meaningless reasons. Or anything like that. As he says, yes, of course. As Midoriya, he takes off his glove. And the old man sees these numbers and he's like, what the hell? As Midoriya, he just rips off 5,000. Alright, he rips off 5,000. And he sticks it on the old man's hand and says, that should be enough for you to explore. The power will drastically get bigger and bigger as you find more interest in this world. So, I hope you have fun. As Deku gives him that smile that you see in the picture. As the old man, he's crying and says, I will. As Deku also rearranges him before he leaves to make it so that he can walk without a cane. As the old man says, thank you so much, I'm more flexible now. As then he looks back at the void and says, and you? You're interesting. What are you called again? Ah, that's right, the old man called you the void. As the void is scared, and Izuku walks forward and says, they said that you are indestructible, the most indestructible thing in the world. But sadly, you don't live up to your expectation. To where Deku holds, like, you know how you cross hands, like, with the left and right? He sticks out his left hand and grabs one of the right hand, and he cuts it off, and the right hand is still moving, but it can't move as Midoriya says, freeze. As Midoriya, he says, most indestructible thing in the world. Interesting. As he does the same thing to the left hand, to one of the left hands, and says, I'll infuse you with my gloves, cause it seems that nobody in this world could destroy you. As the void says, it's taking, it hurts. As Deku says, it seems that you can feel the pain. It doesn't matter. Regrow. He makes it regrow hands, and it says, what? Impossible. As he says, you may return now. Goodbye. As the void, it just feels a mass amount of pressure. Only the void felt that pressure. As it was pushed back into the void and it closed. As Midoriya says, I can see that this won't be the last time I hold it. As the void, since it's infused with the glove, it has a mind of its own. But it won't move since Midoriya is controlling the gloves. As he says, as he puts a command on it. As he just puts a magic circle, to be exact. Like a circle, just something like that. Let me show you. Magic circle. As this magic circle are seen on both hands of Midoriya, or the front part. There is one on the back part. I will show you that one as well. So yeah, this is on the palm. Yes, this is on the palm of each glove. This is the command seal, which allows, and he made a command that if the gloves ever come off of his hand, they will be used again. They will fight against the enemy. That is when it has a free will, but it's only limited to the attacks it uses against the enemy. This is on the palm. No, not the palm. This is on the fingertips, or where the fingerprints would be on a hand. Basically, this is spatial. This is a spatial magic circle. It makes it so that he can use space magic. This one is on the back. As you can see, you see zodiac signs. And this is a zodiac, or a star magic circle, which means he's able to use the power of stars, which means suns. Yes, he can use suns, he can use stars. Did you know that the sun is a star? I hope you know that, kids. Yeah. So Deku, he has that on his hand, as he's just walking around. And it took Deku about 3 months to make those specially made gloves. Cause not only did he have to use silk, but he had to use use scales from a dragon. A very strong dragon at that. Let me show you. And it was this dragon, the dragon of darkness. And the reason why I took it was because this dragon, it doesn't just use darkness around it, but darkness from even the depths of hell and the void. As Deku, he went to the dragon as the dragon says, "Foolish human, what is your purpose for being here?" As Deku, he just walks in and says, "Alright, dragon, I'm gonna make this quick. I'm not playing games with you. I know damn well you have scales lying around here for free. Now, where the hell are they? And I don't need to sell them because I'm not selling those shits." As the dragon says, "How dare you? Are they not valuable enough?" As Deku says, "No, I have enough money. I need them to make equipment of my own. Or to be exact, gloves." As the dragon says, "Gloves? You shall use my scales for measly gloves." As Midoriya says, "Try me. Hold on. I am sadly cursed to use the bathroom again. Alright, hold on." So yeah, I'm cursed to use the bathroom. So, I'm probably gonna make it so that he probably comes into contact with Class 1A this time. So yeah. So the dragon says, "You dare use my scales for measly gloves?" As Deku says, "Ah, measly gloves." As he starts laughing and says, as the dragon says, "What are you laughing about, human?" As he says, "Oh, damn. Maybe I should have said that they're not regular gloves." As he says, "Not regular gloves. There's no such thing as rare gloves. What type of gloves?" She says, "Ah, these gloves are actually infused with the void." As the dragon, he's stunned and says, "The void? How? Impossible. It's the most indestructible thing in the universe, in this planet. Not the universe, sorry." As Deku says, "Ah, I have my ways of getting it out. But I have the pieces. I have what I need. I have the magical inscriptions ready. And the hands of the void. Hold on. Alright, so I got the picture, and you may be wondering, why did you choose this picture? Because this was the only picture I could find with a close-up of the hands without looking sexual. Yes, this is the only one. Deadass. Like, I'm deadass here. So, yeah, he basically has the hands. He has two. Well, he has multiple of those hands. He cut off multiple of the midget's hands. He cut like around 4,000. All right, 4,000, because he made 4,000 suits, so he can match human gloves with them. He cut off 4,000 hands and healed the hands, and he showed them one of the hands. He was like, "How much of these hands do you have?" And he says, 4,000. As the dragon, he's like scared, and he's like, "How? Impossible." As he says, "Oh, you learn how to do it when you're at my level. But that will never happen for you, because sadly, if you don't give me those scales, you will die." So the dragon says, "Fine, how much scales do you need?" As he says, "Just 100. As the dragon says, "Just 100? Alright, then here you go." As he gives Deku the 100 scales, as Deku says, "Thanks." And that's easy. Just think about more things to level up, things to count. As the dragon says, "Alright then, I will do that." So it took him the 3 months to make all those gloves, and he put the gloves on, and he put the inscriptions on. Like I said, the command magic circle, the spatial magic circle, the stars magic circle. And I know it has the zodiac signs on this, but the only reason I used, well, this one was because they have more zodiac signs. So yeah, so Deku, he does that. As in this time, it's about the time where Licht it's about the time where Licht is fighting the Void, that girl with the jetpack type thing, and the Void at the same time with the military. As Nana, she thinks to herself, and that desperate moment while Nick is going crazy, that I guess he wasn't gonna come. So then all of a sudden, all of them, everybody, like Class 1A has been fighting, but they're not strong enough. To them, to their surprise, somebody says stop. As all of a sudden, the void stops, and everybody turns around to see this person. As Nana, she sparkles, as says, he did, as he yells, you did come. As Midoriya says, what did I say? You'd find out and see, didn't I? As he walks all the way to the void, as the void is scared shitless, as he says, as everybody's yelling, saying, how the hell is the void stopped? As Licht is still going berserk, as Deku, he looks at Licht and says, powered down and sleep. As Licht's number goes down and he falls asleep, right then and there, as he leans back and falls and sleeps. As the girl that's a masochist for Lick's bloody, bloodshedding side says, what? No, impossible. As Deku, she just levitates into his hand and he slams her head on the floor and says, you're the cause of this. I'll make it so that you can't use your abilities at all. Which means you'll be immobilized, which means no walking, talking, thinking, or being awake. So, you'll basically be in a comatose state, as he just snaps his finger, and she's asleep. To which Midoriya, he walks closer to the void, as everybody says, hey, stop, that's the void. I know it's called the abyss, but I feel like it should be called the void. Alright? It's a void. I feel like it should be called the void. As Deku, he walks to the void, and he touches the void, and says, as he thinks, maybe I should write a magic inscription to make it so that I can summon you. As he says that, the void scared feeling. As these inscriptions, it's not, I don't have it right now, hold on, I'll show you. So this magic circle appears around the magic circle you see on the back of his hand, which is this one. As you see those 4 spots that are on southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest, yeah, that's where the magic circles appear. As they just appear on his hand and says, there we go. Now I can summon the abyss, now I can summon the void where I want to, whenever I want to. As everybody sees this and they're scared, as Jail says, you stop right there. You are a menace. Who are you? As Izuku turns around and says, sorry, that's classified. As Bakugo, he yells out and says, hey, extra! Higher ups are talking to you. Respect them and respond back accordingly. As Deku turns around and he says, oh, higher ups are talking to me. Why don't you show me who they are? Because frankly, I don't see them. As he does that, as Iron Gel attacks Deku, as Deku just swipes his hand and the magic of Iron Gel's metal is destroyed, as he says, impossible. As Deku, he slightly removes his glove halfway, as Aizawa sees the numbers and he thinks, no way, it can't be. As he's surprised as hell, he says, that's Midoriya. As he doesn't say this out loud, he says that in his head. He says, my god, to think that he'd be this strong. And he's even experimenting on creatures. As Bakugo charges at him with Iron Jail now, as Bakugo sets off an explosion, as Izuku, he snaps, and the explosion disappears. And Iron Jail's thing actually hits Izuku, but sadly, it hit his clothes or his armor, as Iron Jail's thing immediately broke. Because he also infused some of the Void's things inside it. He infused it with his clothes. Yes, he didn't just use it on gloves, he used it on clothes as well. As Iron Jail's like, what? How? As Deku says, it's funny. in the phenomenal iron jail, reduced to dust right in front of my very eyes. As a matter of fact, I'm a friend of your higher up. As he points to Licht, as he says, "What? Impossible! How are you his friend?" As he says, "Well, I wouldn't say friend, but an acquaintance. But he'd consider me a friend if I say so myself. And as a matter of fact, you should respect her as well, 'cause if you don't, let's just say it will come to bite you in the butt. And I don't mean the way dogs bite. I mean death." As he walks off, he did not show any face of worry. He just shown a stern and cold stare. As Zawa saw this, as Deku, he just stands. As Iron Joe says, "Alright, everybody fall back." As hold on. I feel like somebody's coming. As where was I? Ah, right. As Izuku, he stopped at a random building. He forced the void to go back to where it came from. Anytime he comes into contact with the void, he takes things from the void, like hands, fingers, or even spells. He explored it. As he's just waiting for a very important person. As the person turns the corner, as Izuku says, "Ah, you're here. Now, what do you want, Aizawa?" As Aizawa stunned, it says, "Midoriya. So I'm not Mr. Aizawa?" As Midoriya says, "Well, not at the moment, 'cause we're not at school." As Aizawa says, "Will you come back?" As Deku says, "Sadly, I can't. I have more exploring of this world to do. I mean, I'm exploring with the void. Maybe I'll start with the elements next." As he says, "Fine, but promise me one thing." And he says, "What's that?" "At least protect the class." As Midoriya, he turns around and says, "What? Them? That's not a possibility. I'm only protecting two people. Nana and that Lin girl. Nana, because I've grown quite close to her. Lin, because, well, she's quite the odd girl, but familiarly funny." As Deku says, "Oh, by the way, there's a way to get back to the world that we came from, or you came from. There's a way for you guys to get up, but there's a way I could get out." As he says, What? There's a way to get back?" As he says, "Yes. But it will come at a cost. You have to fight an extremely strong enemy." As he says, "Who's that?" He says, "The god of evil. The evil god." As he says, as Aizawa says, "But don't you have to fight him too?" As Midoriya says, "Oh, heck no. Quite honestly, I could kill him with just pointing at him. And do you expect me to fight him with you guys? Just the pressure alone of me releasing would kill you." As Aizawa says, "Really? Can you at least let me feel it?" As Midoriya, he walks up to Aizawa. He's about the same height as Aizawa. As he puts his hand on Aizawa's chest, as Aizawa says, "What's this?" As Izuku says, "Well, you'll need to be, well, strong enough to withstand the pressure, right? Can't have you dying on me now, can I?" As Aizawa says, "Ah, right." As Midoriya snaps his finger again, and this immense pressure falls on Aizawa as Aizawa's eyes just widen up as he says, "What is this pressure?" As Izuku says, "That's my pressure. Or at least the minimum I would go. If I went max, you'd be dead in an instant. Well, you wouldn't be dead, but you'd probably have to go to a mental hospital." As he says, "Why's that?" "My pressure is infinite. I'll be stopping it now." As he snaps his finger again, the pressure gets off of Aizawa. As he says, you can keep that resistance against pressure. As he says, well, I'll be going now, Aizawa. I'll catch you on the flip side. As he just flies on. As he just disappears into the pebbles you see in the video, in the picture. So, yeah. If you saw that, that is of something I'll use for another video. Yeah. But, to be honest, with this one, I don't even know what I'm gonna use it for. Like, I had the idea, but I don't know anymore. Like, honestly, I don't know. I know it had something to do with My Hero Academia, but I don't know. What is this? What is it? Oh, wait, no, now I remember. This was actually the original picture I was gonna use. Hold on. So yeah, this was the original picture I was gonna use for What If Deku Was a God. So, yeah, I feel like I should delete this. Deletion complete. Okay. So yeah. So Deku, he leaves. As Aizawa, he runs back to the gun to everyone and says, I want to have a meeting with the teachers in class 1A right when we get back to Nezu. So Nezu says, what for? As Aizawa says, that guy that fought against the Abyss, he said there's a way to get back to our world. As he says, what, wait, really? As he says, yeah. As he says, maybe Izuku would be, as Nezu thinks, maybe Midoriya would be sent back with us if he's still alive. We should take this opportunity. As he sets up the meeting, as everybody walks in, as All Might steps up first and says, Nezu, why did you call us here? As Nezu says, it wasn't me that wanted this meeting, it was Aizawa. As All Might says, what do you want, Aizawa? As Aizawa steps up and says, All Might, if you don't want to be here, you can take your precious Baku and leave. As he says, fine, I'll stay. As he says, so, earlier, the man that we came in contact with told me something. As Midnight said, well, what did he say? As, remember, Midnight ship. If you want Midnight to be a part of the ship, go ahead, alright? Midnight could be a part of the ship. As, yeah. Midnight could be a part of the ship, and take in mind, when Class 1A go back to their world, they will still have the abilities they have now and the numbers. So yeah. So, Midoriya, he's basically found Nana and Lin, basically talking to each other, as he says, well, if it isn't Nana, how are you? As Nana turns around and hugs him and says, why didn't you tell me you were coming? As Izuku says, sorry. I got lost track of time. I was making new equipment for myself. As she says, new equipment? And what equipment could that be? As Lin said, yeah, what equipment? As Izuku says, oh, this equipment is stronger than you may think. As I know Deku could copy the Abyss, but he'd rather cut them off to make the Abyss feel pain. Like, he's not a sadist. I don't know how to. He's not sadistic or anything, but like or like stuff like that. That was a nice crack. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's nice. He's not a sadist or a sadistic person. He just doesn't like the Abyss. Because it just sucks people in. He doesn't even know where he is. He actually took a peek in the Abyss one time while the Abyss was freezing. And he just saw people just living normal lives in the Abyss. And he was like, doesn't really matter to me. Yeah, he was like, well, they seem to be living fine. As he just leaves. As he tells her that he infused the void into his gloves, as she's like, wait, and they're like, what? How? That's impossible. As Deku says, well, it's possible for me. As we skip to a year later. In that year, class when they have gotten stronger as as I already told them about the evil god and stuff like that, and they're ready to fight him. They fight the evil god. They win. Hold on. So yeah, they fight the demon god. They beat him, and in this time, Deku he released his power one time and went to the god's domain, as he took a cloud from the god's domain since they're more durable than the clouds on Earth, and he infused them into his clothes. And they're also more soft, and he was like, damn, this is soft. So it's a year later, and Deku he's just with the girls, just talking as all of a sudden these things start releasing on him. These glowing lights. Basically the thing you saw when Koro Sensei was dying. And as Deku says, oh, looks like they defeated the Demon King. As he says, you two, I'll be returning to my world. Would you like to come with me or not? As they said yes, as they started dating in that time, as Izuku, he just touches the two of them and they went into his, well, space. As all of a sudden, everyone in the class, everyone and the teachers, get teleported into Class 1A. And it was around school at this time. They found a replacement for Nezu. As Deku, he is teleported into the class as well. As Deku is in the back, as the class turns around and says, what the hell? How are you here? You're not a part of this class. As Deku says, you're right. But who am I? As Aizawa says, alright, you can stop playing with them now. As Midoriya, he gets all goody and says, alright. It's me, the person you betrayed, weaklings. As Bakugo hears weakling and says, what? What did you call me extra? You useless Deku! Just because you got a little bit of power doesn't mean you're strongest. As Bakugo goes to explode Deku's face, as Deku slaps Bakugo across the face, sending him flying into the wall. As he walks out of the class and says, well, I'll be gone now. All Might didn't take liking to this and charged at Deku to also get slapped into a wall. As the class see this, they're like, how is he so strong? As Deku, he says, oh right, I almost forgot, as he snaps his fingers and the two appear, as they're like, wait, is this your world? As he says, yup. He says, whoa, it's so high tech. As he says, yup, it is. As he says, hey Mr. Aizawa, is there is there a science lab? As Aizawa says, yeah, there is. Why do you need it for? As Deku, he just reaches out and his hand disappears and everybody's like, where is his hand? As he just pulls out a jar with a hand in it and says, I need to experiment on the hands of the abyss. As I was like, what? You're experimenting on the hands? As he says, yeah. As a matter of fact, he pulls gloves out and he says, catch. As Aizawa catches him and says, what's this? As he says, you should put those on real quick, because if anybody else puts them on, they'll follow their command instead of yours. As Aizawa says, okay, as he puts them on, and he's like, alright, now what do they do? As he says, those gloves are infused with the abyss and 3 runes. Or 4 to be exact. 1, a command magic circle, which makes it so you can command it. 2, a spatial magic circle, where you could use space magic. 3, a zodiac magic circle, so you can use the power of the stars. And 4, what was this? A summoning magic circle. As a matter of fact, I'll take that back. You can't use the power of the abyss yet. It's too strong for you. It could turn against you. As he snaps his finger, and the magic circle gets erased. As Aizawa says, wow, I didn't know you could do this. As Deku says, oh, not anyone could do this. I'm actually the only one that could do it. As he leaves. As he's remembered, alright, the silk moth. As he snaps his finger and this ginormous creature just is on the floor in the room, as it said, what the hell, Midoriya? As the silkworm moth looks up and says, young man, how have you been? As Midoriya says, I've been good. Welcome back to my world. Would you like to explore it with me? As she says, but of course. As she says, of course, as she turns into, what should I make her turn into? The flower pebbles. Yeah, the flower, the flower pebbles. The flower pebbles around Deku's ear. You know what? It takes form of an accessory. It takes the accessory of the flower circle that you can see vividly, basically this part. It turns into that, as it says, I can communicate with you now and see what you see, Master. As he says, Master, as she says, yes, you gave me the ability to see what others cannot, so I shall call you Master. As the class hear this and they're like, what do you mean ability to see what people cannot? As Deku says, that's none of your business. As he just walks out and everybody sees this. That includes Monoma, and they're like, who's that? And he just came from class 1A. As Vlad walks out and stops Midoriya and says, hey, you, who are you? As Midoriya says, Vlad came. It's been a while. Sadly, your abilities are too weak to stop me. As he just walks through Vlad, as everybody sees it, they're like, what? How? As Vlad says, stop right there, villain. As Aizawa runs out and says, stop, Vlad, he's not a villain. As Vlad says, Aizawa, wait, you're back? As Aizawa says, yeah, we're back. As Vlad says, damn it, it's been 6 months, where have you been? No, it's been 2 months, where have you been? As he says, 2 months. It's been 2 years for us. Interesting. As he says, where have you been for 1 year? As Aizawa says, we'll explain it to you later. For now, what time is it? As he said, as he says, well, as the bell just rings and he says, well, it's lunchtime at the moment. As he says, oh, it's lunch? Alright then. As Nezu, he walks out, looking like a human, says, alright everyone, it's time to go to lunch, shall we? As he says, Midoriya, would you like to join us for lunch? For lunch in the teacher's lounge? As Midoriya says, fine, since I have nothing else to do. As Nezu says, you can also bring the ladies as well. As he said, fine. As they're talking in the teacher's lounge, and Aizawa says, Midoriya, exactly how strong are you? As Midoriya says, like I said, Aizawa, my power is infinite. As he says, but how do you have, where are your numbers located on your body? As Midoriya says, that's a good question. To which he begins to unbutton his clothes. As you just hear this multiple times. Shit. Hold on. Yeah. The sound of a button popping out. You just hear a popping sound of his, buttons as he starts taking off his shirt as Midnight says, what are you doing? Blushing. Yeah, you should tell me if you want her to be a part of the ship. As Nana says, it's fine, he's not doing anything sexual. As he says, his, numbers are located in his front side and on his upper body. As Aizawa says, oh. As Deku, he takes off the gloves as he then proceeds to take off the shirt, and on his back in front, the teachers see these numbers. As the teacher's like, what the hell? Midoriya, what exactly are you counting? As Midoriya says, oh, what I'm counting. Which one would you like to know? Pick a finger and a side. As they said, a finger and a side, but how, do we only have one? As he says, yes, you do. Now choose wisely. As they said, no, as he says, like out of his 5 fingers, and he says, on the left hand, they think to themselves, and Nezu says, alright then, how about middle finger and back? As Midoriya says, that one is, how many atomic seconds have passed since I was born up till the time I am reincarnated infinites of times. As they're like, what? As Deku says, yeah, it works like that. As they said, I thought we could only count things we could think of. As he says, I did. I'm also counting the amount of quirks in my body. As All Might gets up and says, huh, quirks in your body? You don't even have a quirk. What quirk are you counting? As Izuku says, I guess you didn't take chemistry in school, All Might. You sure are stupid. As Nezu says, thinking, quirks, what could he... As he says, those quirks. As Midoriya says, bingo. You got it, Nezu. As the teachers don't get it, they're like, what are you guys talking about? As Nezu says, I can't tell you. You guys have to find out on your own. As All Might threatens Nezu, no, he doesn't threaten Nezu. He says, I don't care anyways. It's not like he could beat Bakugo. As he says, I could beat Bakugo on so many different levels that he wouldn't even know what's going on. And that's where I'm going to be leaving it off. None of the events in My Hero Academia happened, and this was great. This was great what if. It just came to me out of nowhere. And please tell me in the comments if you want Midnight to be a ship, part of it. So yeah, this is the second isekai I have made, apart from What If Deku was left behind. The reason I have not made Left Behind for a while was because I made it an hour long, both parts. I made them over an hour long. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't give me backlash in the comments. And yeah, bye guys.